The lack of coherent physics in the show has always bothered me, this user says. Then below they're quote tweeting a clip from a show called Invincible in which two of the characters are throwing a baseball across the entire planet and then catching it. Now, what fascinated me about this tweet was not actually the tweet itself, but the responses that this person received. Instead of faithfully engaging with what the original poster said, a lot of these replies opted to respond with what I would refer to simply as thought-destroying statements. Now, what I mean by thought-destroying statements are statements that actively seek to avoid the conversation. These statements are typically made by people who don't know how to engage properly with the conversation at hand, or they don't know how to defend their position adequately, and so they try to make what the original person said seem ridiculous or pointless. For example, Toby on X, from the same guys literally standing on air because they can make their own leverage, leave physics, essentially arguing that, well, you're watching a show where characters can fly. Does anything really need to make sense? Oh, and here's a good one. Here's a good old ad hominem. When you start thinking like this, you probably should realize that you are depressed or something, because you're sucking the enjoyment out of a fictional show about superheroes who are from other planets. Yes, it's because he's depressed or something, and that's why he had a problem with this. Sure. Again, another person making the same argument as the first person, from the people flying and holding their breath in space during fights, but you think they care about physics. Now, unfortunately, and I have to say I think it is unfortunate that the person who made the original tweet did not make an effort to respond to these people and defend his argument, which I understand because it's really such a hassle and honestly not worth it most of the time to argue with people on Twitter. But if he were to have done so, he would have had a seriously easy time defending his point. And of course, no hate to the people I've used as examples in this video. I wish I didn't have to say that. I mean, that should be obvious, but this is the internet, so I feel like I have to say that. But I just wish that people would actually engage with discussions instead of approaching things with such very clearly what is bad faith. These people obviously came to this person's post with a bunch of bad faith. The original post that this person made talking about the baseball throwing scene is not one that is criticizing the fundamental idea of supernatural or fantastical elements being involved in a story. They're not criticizing the fact that people can have superpowers, that they can have super strength or super speed. When a work of fiction establishes magic, establishes super strength or super speed, these are elements that the audience can come to accept and work with as being reality for the universe that they're watching. But then, after that has been accepted, it is the job of the story to work within the boundaries of what they have established to make everything else that comes after functional. If you establish that a character can fly, but then that power is forgotten in a moment where they're falling to their death, people are going to be confused. Similarly, if you establish